What are you doing?
Brilliant Italian William. Brilliant Italian William. Will you, won't you? Will you, won't you?
Is this what you do before every show?
No, but for some reason I couldn't say whatever it was I was just saying.
You think you're having like a brain issue?
Yeah, I think I'm probably melting internally.
Oh, hey, Cousin Ed, it's me, Cousin Todd, with Mama's Comedy Show. And with me is Cousin Ed.
Who might be having a brain issue.
Yeah, you can just call it a brain thing.
I got a brain thing.
How you doing?
What? What? No, I'm doing fine. I just had a very active few days with my son, who those who are normal listeners would know he's special needs. And
you're always milking that. You're always milking it. You're trying to get special treatment.
But he's doing a med change. And so behaviorally, things have been a little rocky from time to time. But you know what? You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have different strokes. Different strokes.
Is that what it is? You had a different stroke?
I did.
That's your brain thing.
There you go.
You reminded me of a joke that I just heard, and it was this guy walks up to he's looking to buy a horse, and he goes into the stable to look at the horse, and the farmer who owns the horse currently is there, and he says, "Hello, I would like to see his hoof." And the farmer says, "Okay, well, if you're serious about buying this horse, here's its hoof. Okay, I would like to see his teeth." And the farmer says, "Okay, well, I'll show you his teeth." So he lifts up the gums, and then the guy says, "Okay, I would like to see its twat." And the farmer says, "What?" And he says, I would like to see its twat." And the farmer grabs this guy by the face, lifts up the horse's tail, and just shoves this guy's head right into that horse vagina. And he pulls his head out and goes, "I don't know why you did that. I just want to see how he wins."
I mean, you know the punchline's coming. This isn't a mystery. Like, you figured it out, but you still want to hear the end of the joke. Speaking of the end of the joke.
Hey, look who showed up, Ed. You were right. Ed, I said we should wait for Ali, and he said he'll take his sweet little time.
Yeah, because I'm always
one. Are you? I don't know if that was on. I thought it was on.
Am I on now?
Yeah, now you're on.
Hey.
How dare you put words in my mouth?
Oh, I'm sorry. It was.
You nicknamed your cock words as well.
More than words.
I missed a jokey joke.
That's why I always try to.
It's pretty predictable, but
try
it was
to
funny.
find the joke. Oh, he reminded me of it when he said "twat."
I couldn't hear you.
What's your penis's name, Ed?
It's called the Octagon.
Thank you. No, I don't do that anymore.
2 men enter. Oh, I'm sorry. What? Twat? You don't name your penis anymore?
Do you name your penis?
Ed, what kind of question is that? I'm starting with you. What's your penis's
I'm
name?
just wondering whether or not we can bond on this, or is this something that, I'd be floating
It's funny, 'cause
alone?
that's what I named my penis, is Bond.
Bond. James Bond.
No, just Bond.
I guess since he's my little helper, calling him AIDS all those years really didn't do me any favors.
Let me run it by my aide.
Well, no, my balls are included too, so I pluralize.
And then your aide has to have a meeting with your assistant.
I gave my assistant my AIDS.
That's awful.
All right. Well, Ed, what did you learn today?
Well, I learned that.
Damn it, how late am I?
I really should name my penis. There you go.
Ali, do you have a penis name?
It changes from.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a
girlfriend.
teenager, I think I did, but I don't think I do anymore.
Was it something like Thor?
Don't even remember, dude. Yes, let's say it's Thor for purposes of comedy.
Ragnarok.
It was Thor.
Ragnarok.
So
I remember in high school or even in college, I would just jokingly, when that would happen, it's like,
Yeah.
do you have a name? I'd always go, I call him Senior. I'm like, Senior? Well, you can't name something Junior if it's bigger than you.
Wow. Wow.
That went over really well with everyone who worked at the Wendy's.
Yeah.
All the baggers. Yeah.
The baggers. Is that a racist joke?
No, I'm making reference to City Slickers.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that movie's racist, and I'm
Wait,
gonna
hold
double
on.
down.
You said Wendy's, or you didn't say Winn-Dixie. Did you say Winn-Dixie or Wendy's?
Wendy's.
Oh my God, my brain is short-circuiting.
Yeah,
I
we
could have sworn you
established
said
at the
Win-
beginning of this podcast
that I might be having a brain issue right
yeah,
now.
He's having a different stroke.
Ah. What you talking about with
Takes different strokes to move the world. What?
Yes, it does.
What does it? What happened?
So Ed, you speaking of brain things, you had like are you comfortable talking about that?
The heart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know
Yeah, I
what
think
that was?
Congestion on my artery, and I also have probably a very bad reaction cardiac related to stress and stress environment.
I thought you were going to say like when you went, and I probably have. I thought you were going to go like 3 months. I was
3
like,
months?
Jesus Christ.
That's all I got. Yep, I'll be seeing him. So just for him to say no. No, I don't know, Todd. Here's the deal, man. I have had no issues, like
Yeah.
0 issues. Now, granted, I'm on the medicine the doctor gave me.
Right.
I've had 0 issues since I've been on summer break.
Yeah. Oh, stress.
And I think it's very related to teaching in school as a Florida educator right now. Guys, the amount of books that have been banned are ridiculous.
I was told
Yeah.
by Ron DeSantis that was a lie. That you are an Antifa agent and you are trying to make him look bad.
They just banned Midsummer Night's Dream for all grades.
Oh, thank God. That's smut.
All grades.
What the puck?
Sorry. No more Puck. A whole bunch of Shakespearean plays you can't do anymore. You can't even reference them.
because they were originally drag performances. The
Sexual content.
So what is
Midsummer
Midsummer Night's Dream?
Hold on, is it?
Pyramus and Thisbe, and I mean, it's all about sex with them.
Oh
You know?
my God.
And then you, I can't believe they're allowing Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's because of the title, and people are like, that more people would throw up their hands and say Romeo. Because if you know nothing about theater, Joe
Yeah.
12-pack walking down the street,
Right.
and you're like, hey, name a play. I don't know, Romeo and the girl. What was the girl's name? I don't know. At least I'll know half.
And
of
if
it.
anything, like I love that one the most because it's the beautiful story of 14-year-olds who fuck and then kill themselves.
Yes.
Yeah, it really is great.
And by the way, when did Joe Sixpack get a promotion to Joe 12-pack?
Who?
Oh, I always say it's Joe 12-pack. I don't know why.
Joe Sixpack.
And
I'm
I
like,
totally know that it's Joe 6-pack, but I've always said Joe 12-pack.
Because he knows how to drink more.
I don't know why. I've just been around a lot of heavy drinkers. I
There's
guess.
a lot more stood ups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So things are pretty bad in Florida education, and it's causing a lot of stress and that aggravate. So I have a new plan for this upcoming school year.
Right.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's good or it's bad, but it's what I'm going to do. And this
Work
is
at McDonald's?
No, I'm actually looking for something else, but I don't think it's going to happen. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the agenda on the board. Guys, we're going to get through this agenda today. If it takes 10 minutes, it takes 10 minutes, it takes 15, it takes 15, it takes 40, it takes 40. Whatever time we have left at the end, go ahead, use your phones, do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired of fighting that. I am so much more these days a classroom manager
Right.
than I am a theater teacher.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't do the classroom management nonsense anymore. If you want to be on your phones, get through this agenda, phone away, guys.
Yeah.
Sit here and rock and roll on the phones because I can't keep on being phone police. I can't keep on being, and I'm forcing this information on people that don't want it.
Right.
Most Theater 1 kids, they don't want to be in a Theater 1 class.
Yeah.
I would say this isn't even a made up statistic. Probably 95% of the kids in a Theater 1 class are put there because of guidance. And my heart goes out to the other 5%, because I was part of that other 5%,
Right.
who actually want to learn theater.
Right.
So I'm like, I got to do, both worlds.
You should try. What was that movie with Lean on Me? You should do a Lean on Me, where
The
you
baseball
should.
bat?
Yeah, you should. Batman.
Mm-hmm.
You should get down on their level,
Joe Clark.
and you should like win them over by becoming one of them, and then
Like Michelle Pfeiffer in, what was the one that she was in?
Apollo 13.
Yes. And
Orca. She played Orca.
she was the Orca.
No, but I
You look
think
at the eye, you can tell.
Dangerous Minds.
Dangerous
You
Minds.
start off
Been spending all my life.
as the teacher who's, you gotta spin the baseball cap around, spin the chair around so they can see already when you spin that chair
I can
around,
relate to them.
Yeah, well, then
I'm one of them.
you're
Okay,
unconventional.
so what I'm thinking is, you got to come in and just speak their language, Ed. You need to be able to sit there, no cap.
No
Like,
cap.
No cap.
I got to stand and deliver.
No cap, plenty of
That's
fat.
another one. Stand
Yeah.
and deliver. Edward
and then-
James almost.
And then what you do once you've won them over, and you're going to piss off a lot of the people. Like, your principal is going to come in and he's going to be like,
Nice
Oh.
world you live in your
right.
mind.
No
in
wonder things are so
in
messed up.
1955.
and then and she's going to be like, "Well, who taught you kids this dangerous acting?" And then one of those kids is going to stand up on their desk chair and they're going to say, "I am Spartacus." And then the next one is going to stand up and say, "I am Spartacus."
And then two kids are going to say, "Oh, Captain, my Captain." And they're going to be like, "We've been watching a lot of movies."
That's all we've been doing in here.
Have you
And then
seen
one
this
kid,
movie?
the one Ralphie Wiggum of your group is going to jump up and stand on the top of the desk and go, nah, 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 nah.
Hey, no one, the Ralph Wiggum kid's going to stand on the desk and go, "Miss Robinson, are you trying to seduce me?" What? No, but you ever see the spoof of the Dead Poet Society scene on Saturday Night Live where they do "Oh Captain, my Captain"?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
I'm not going to ruin it for you, but just take a moment. I think it's like "Goodbye, Mr." It's not Mr. Spalding, but it's Mr. something.
Yeah.
Goodbye, whatever. And Fred Armisen plays the Robin Williams character. I really can't say anything more about it
I
other
think
than
I
watch
have
it.
seen it. I just don't remember it.
Yeah, Pete
There was
Davidson's
there was a
part.
Mr. Show sketch back in the day with Bob Odenkirk where he was a teacher substitute that was like the teacher couldn't be there. So he shows up and he's trying to be the hard ass teacher. And he's like, "Look to your left, look to your right. Both of the people you just looked at will fail this class. And two of you will die. And one of you will hurt your leg very badly." And he just, everything that he says ends up happening in the class.
Oh God, that's so stupid.
Speaking
when
of Bob
they do that.
Odenkirk, I just watched. I'm on episode 6 of season 2 of The Bear, and I think it's episode 6.
And this is a show about like an adult gay man who is.
Yes.
Okay, good.
In Chicago. But no, it's a really good show. But Bob Odenkirk
Yeah.
makes an appearance, and I was like, man, they did a really good job because I mean, yes, he's getting older.
Right.
But like they really aged him up for this, and it looks. I was like, oh God, he looks rough. Holy cow! And Bob Odenkirk, like I've seen him recently, and it's like he doesn't look that bad, but they did a really good job. But he's great, man.
And speaking
love the
of heart
fact-
issues, I mean, he almost died on the set of Better Call Saul.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he
they,
had art.
They brought
he had an
out.
art
They had to
issue.
bring out defibrillators.
Oh shit!
I
Yeah.
never got defibrillated.
No. You want to try it? I mean, I don't
or
have.
defibbed, as we call it in the biz.
I don't have actual defibrillators here, but we could plug something into that wall.
Sure.
I got
why
a
not?
car battery right over there.
Yeah, Bob Odenkirk's very talented. I always
Yeah,
enjoyed
he's
him
really
on Mr. Show.
Did you see Nobody?
I
No.
haven't finished
Oh
it.
my gosh, it's so
Yeah.
good. It's John Wick, but with an older guy. But it's not a bit. He's just really a badass dude, and you could see he's given up the life. He has a family. He has kids, and you can see that life is boring. And then when something happens, like the stress of life, he's just like, "Fuck it. This is the world that I know and feel comfortable in." It's good. It's so good.
Yeah.
So right now I've been watching Man in the High Castle.
Yeah.
Have you heard about that? It was like around 2015.
Yeah.
And something happened at a dinner that I was with other teachers the other night, and it kind of bugs me a little bit. Is that I mentioned that I was watching it, and I was really enjoying the first episode, and I still do enjoy the first episode. They're like, "Oh yeah, the first two seasons of that are great, and then the second 2 seasons are awful." And
That
now
would
I'm
be
like,
the 3rd and 4th season.
yeah, but now I'm thinking to myself, do I want to watch the rest of it now? Just based on that recommendation.
Well, that's how Lost was. So everyone raved
No,
about
but
Lost.
the
It was
fact that like I should do it myself. I should determine that
Right.
seasons 3 and 4 are awful.
Well, I
shouldn't.
I hadn't
like-
even started Lost yet, everyone talked about how amazing it was. And then I don't know if it was the 3rd season or the 4th season, but I was like, oh, I better jump into this because people are loving it. And then my entire feed was just people going, Lost it. Like, it sucks now. It's terrible. And then I went, well, I don't want to set myself up for that.
That's exactly what I'm going through with The Man in the High Castle, and I don't think I'm giving it a fair shake. But, you know, if it's going to be like a Sliders thing, you remember that?
I loved Sliders.
Right up to the end. Come on, with the Cro-Mags and all that nonsense.
Hey, listen, man. If you had your bad years, I'm sticking with you because
Listen,
I
first
like
3 seasons
you.
of Sliders were great. Then after that,
Well, look at you.
Doing the exact same thing that those other people did.
oh no,
You
I
did that
still
to somebody
say
else.
I listen to the other people. That's why I don't want to watch the end of Man in the High
Yeah,
Castle.
but like, how often has somebody said this is great and you didn't like it? How often has somebody said this sucks and you liked it? Like, are they 100% right every time they talk about a show with you?
And
No.
speaking of the movie The Flash, have either of you guys seen that?
I have not.
Oh,
You have.
I have. The Flash is my favorite superhero. He's by far, and Ezra Miller.
I heard Michael Keaton saves the movie.
Michael Keaton's great. The movie itself is not bad. It's not bad, but they did this huge press run leading up to the movie coming out with people saying this is the greatest superhero movie ever made, and that it's not. It's not that. But when you have that in your mind, and then you see something that is just good, it feels like you've been cheated out of something. Now, I will say this. Before Ezra Miller got into a whole shit ton of trouble, it was very clear that our computer was unplugged, but it was very clear that they did like one pass of VFX. So like all of the CG, they did one pass, and they're like, all right, that's our first pass. And then Ezra Miller got arrested, and the studio went, don't spend another dime on those effects that you guys have, because they're bad.
That's what I've heard. The
They're
CG
really
is
bad.
really bad.
And it's the movement stuff. Some of the stuff looks great, but it's when they're recreating characters in CG that they look not even like a PS5 game. They look like PS3
Wow.
or PS2.
Wow.
Like it's really, really bad. But the movie itself is good. I think you would, if you can just get past the fact that this dude is a monster, and you can enjoy the movie itself.
Now, remind me of the charges that he was actually brought up on. I'm a little foggy.
Assault.
Yeah.
He broke into some people's house. There was a whole thing. I don't know the details of like that he was like trying to start a cult or something. And
Wow.
and we were talking about cults a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I know that he like choked some girl.
And this is what we're missing out on. We need your applications.
I
Bring
like that
those
Bailey
in
last
right
week.
now.
Bailey on the podcast last week was like, "I'm in," and I was like, "No dick sucking though," and she went, "Well, whatever I have to do." So I was like, "Good for you, good for you, good for you."
That must have been a little heartbreaking for you, because I've known you for quite some time, and you know more about the Flash than most people I know.
Right.
And most people go, yeah, he's the fast runner guy.
Yeah,
But like, his backstory,
Ezra Miller's just not the Flash. Like, he's just not the Barry Allen character. Is not this awkward. I don't have any friends. I don't know how to fight. He's not that weird.
He's not Peter Parker before the spider bite.
No, I mean he is a vanilla guy. Like, that's the thing, is he's a good guy. He's vanilla. He's not. And I really hope that with this new DC universe that's coming, I really hope that they get a shot of doing the actual Flashpoint, which is kind of what this movie was dicking around with, and I hope it didn't fuck it up, the fact that they delved into the story. But all right, so the idea of Flashpoint, I'm gonna get real nerdy for a second here. Barry Allen's mother is killed when he's a child, right? That's part of his backstory.
No superheroes' parents die early.
She was unalived.
Oh, okay.
Unalived.
And in the Flashpoint comic, the Flash, he learns that he has this ability to travel through time, and it's a dangerous ability. But he wakes up one morning and he sees his mother on the street, and he's like, "Oh, Mom!" And he's like his mind is blown. But then he starts getting these memories of a childhood with his mother, and he loses his speed. And he's like, something's not right. Like I can't run anymore. I'm not the Flash anymore, but I have my mom. And he figures that he needs to get answers. He's like, someone has done this to him. Like someone has affected the timeline to make him lose his power. So he goes to find Batman, and he sees the Batmobile going down the road. He's like in a car chasing after it. And he goes to Wayne Manor, and there's Batman, and Batman just opens fire on him, just shooting guns, just bam, 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 bam. And he's like, whoa, Bruce, it's me. It's Barry. It's me, Bruce. And Batman just goes, why are you calling me that name? And it's because the timeline had changed so much. In the alleyway, Bruce and his mother were killed, and Thomas Wayne becomes Batman. And he's so shattered by the loss of his son that Batman is just delivering justice with guns. Oh, and this is the other thing. This is super, super amazing in this timeline. Martha Wayne doesn't get killed. She goes crazy from the loss of Bruce in front of her. And when she puts her hands to her face with Bruce's blood, it makes this smile. She's the Joker.
Oh, wow.
In this, it's such an amazing story. And at the very end of everything, like there's a reverse Flash, like he gets his powers back. The reverse Flash is there, and they're fighting. And the reverse Flash, like he's telling the reverse Flash, he's like, you thought you could get rid of my powers and blah, 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 blah. And the reverse Flash goes, you think I did this? And he's like, the best part of all of this, you did this. You wanted to save your mom, so you went back in time and stopped your mom from getting killed. All of this is, and you realize at that moment, you're like, oh shit, like I probably would have done the same thing, the way that it was like done, but he didn't remember saving her because of the way the time reset. But it's just such a good story. It's such a good story. And they played with ideas on it in this.
Is there an actor you could have thought of that would have been a better
I'll
Flash?
tell you what, the dude who did it on the TV show did a great job. I feel like, I mean, he's kind of a skinny kid, but he played the role for like 10 years or something. And the show kind of got real stale. I mean, because they just, every season it was like, you got to be faster, Barry. Okay. And then he was faster. But I mean, when you have a character that long, you're bound to run into some obstacles. But yeah, he didn't even get a cameo in this movie.
Now, in canon, because I'm not big into the DC universe, but in canon, who has beat the Flash and who has the Flash beat, running wise? Because I know that he's raced Superman.
So, he's raced Superman, and it was always like close. Like sometimes Superman wins, sometimes the Flash wins. But there was like what was the storyline? There was a storyline where the Flash was like, I have to go and you can't stop me. And Superman's like, I've beaten you in races before. And he turns to him and he goes, those were for charity, Clark.
Oh.
And you realize that he just is way faster than Superman.
Wow.
But anyway, go see the movie. It is enjoyable. But Ezra Miller's a monster.
Another question before we move on to another topic. Someone explained to me, you are also a fan of, I believe it's Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, yes, so much.
So someone explained to me that Goku, that's from Dragon Ball Z, right?
Yep, yeah.
And Superman are essentially the same character.
Kind of.
Why?
Goku
I don't know anything about
because
that.
Goku is an alien that was sent to Earth, and the Saiyans, which is the race that he's part of, what they would do
Super
is
Saiyan.
Yeah,
the restaurant.
That's what it comes from. That's,
all right, I got it.
That's why Super Saiyan is
I've never been there.
After Dragon Ball
I've never
Z.
been there, but it's Alex's favorite restaurant.
It's great. It's really good.
Yeah.
But they send their children to planets that are weak because when they're originally they have tails, and when the first full moon hits them, they turn into this thing called an Uzaru, which is like this giant gorilla monster, and they just fuck up the planet. And then later on, Saiyans can come back and go, okay. Then they sell the planet. They're basically space pirates or monsters. But when Goku's a child, he falls into a canyon and hits his head. He's saved from his spacecraft by this old man whose name is Gohan, which is what Goku also names his son. But Goku is like this little terror of a kid. He's super strong, and he's fighting with his grandfather, and that's when he falls and hits his head, and that kind of deprograms him from being that monster.
That is Superman.
Yeah. And he grows up as an alien who has adopted this world as his own and protects it. I mean, it goes way far. I mean, there's talking animals and dinosaurs. And
Yeah, I don't need to get that deep. But
yeah.
I was like, I don't know anything about Dragon Ball Z. So. How are you?
I'm good.
Do you have any nerd-related questions?
I don't. I was like, I could have not showed up because I have nothing to add to any of this.
Hey, there's a Hispanic superhero that's coming up soon.
I know. I saw the preview for
Blue
that.
Beetle?
I can't
The
wait.
Blue Beetle.
Yeah, he steals so many hubcaps.
I hate you.
My favorite line from the trailer is, "Batman should be doing this. Batman's a fascist." It's like, what? Maybe he is.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah.
I want to see it. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, we have a decent sized audience tonight. It's smaller than I was a little bummed because I was like, we sold out 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, but if people are regulars and they're coming in those past 2 weeks, I mean, even if they came in within the past 2 weeks, the third week, give them a week off.
I feel like our regulars are still here. We had a lot of new people the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
Nude?
Yes, we had naked people in the audience.
Get closer to the mic so you can hear better.
Nice.
So
That's not the way sound works. Florida education, I tell you. That's the problem.
this Florida education, this one.
Please, I'm not going to defend
two
it.
people here for a microphone for
Oh,
a podcast.
no. We
'cause that's
discussed
what
this
you have to.
beforehand.
Yeah,
We discussed this beforehand.
I set a
You
level.
said I was supposed to stay right in this area, right here.
I set a level for him because he said, "I'm not going to stand back here,
And I'm not coming
and
up.
I'm not going
And
to."
he goes, all right, so stay right about there. So this is where I'm supposed to stay. I'm following instructions. How am I doing so far?
You're good. You're great.
Okay, good.
I would appreciate it if you wouldn't lick the microphone every once in a while, though.
But it's so tasty.
I know.
Tastes like coconut.
That's because I rub my
Okay.
balls on it.
Nice.
Speaking of Dragon Balls,
Hey, you get older, it happens.
yeah, it does.
Sorry, Z.
I was listening to the Smartless podcast.
Yeah.
And they've started airing the ones that they show on their special. So
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
they just did the Will Ferrell one, and Will Ferrell goes, "Who sings that song?" And I don't remember the name of the song, but it's an Imagine Dragons thing.
Yeah.
And someone goes, "Imagine Dragons." He goes, "Imagine dragging these nuts on your face."
I was listening to the podcast. I enjoy it, but one of the things I really enjoyed about watching Smartless on the road was that I didn't know who the guest was going to be.
Right.
Who the guest, and when you go to the podcast because it's named the name of the guest. I'm like,
Yeah.
And I had to look up who Dak Shepard was. So I was like,
Oh, really?
No, but once I saw his face, I was like, oh yeah, I know that
Yeah.
guy, but I don't know him by name. That's not a recognizable name to me.
Are you guys watching the new season of Black Mirror?
I have not yet.
Not yet. No, I got to get through Man in High Castle.
My it gets really bad after
Dude, like
season
the
three.
After
season
season
3
2.
and 4.
No, it's the second the second two seasons.
The second to the last second season of the first half of the second quarter.
Let me show you this picture of a really well drawn horse up until the end, and that will show you.
That's the Game of Thrones picture.
Yeah. They do that picture with everything that's like a season.
The only one I ever seen him with was Game of Thrones, which it does fit for Game of Thrones.
I've still only seen the first episode twice.
Oh.
I want to get into it.
It's so good.
I want to get into
Game
it.
of Thrones is good. I tried to get into House of Dragons. He's into House of Dragons. I fell asleep.
I have to.
That's not saying much. You fall asleep every 8 minutes, Ed.
Because you got that.
What did you say?
You got that heart thing.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
But yeah, with Game of Thrones, I feel like that was one of the first TV shows that the internet was obsessed with spoiling. Like obsessed with spoiling. I mean, I didn't watch the show, but I knew an hour after that show aired, people were announcing names of people who died on the episodes.
Yeah, that's so messed up too.
And I remember it, like I'm friends with some of these people, and I remember like going, "Hey, spoiler," and they're like, "Well, then don't get on Facebook." And I went, "That's not how it works. Like you're standing. That's
not how any of this works."
But that's like standing on your rooftop and screaming something out when people are like, "Hey, shut the fuck up." You're like, "Then don't come outside."
Yeah.
Don't listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dumb.
You're in a public forum.
Yeah. And it takes zero effort to go, spoilers in the comments.
Right.
Here's what's going to happen. I want to talk about this. If you've not seen this, don't.
Have you had anything like really spoiled for you? Because Game of Thrones, I know, like, I don't know any of the names. I do know that when the any episode with the name wedding in it is going to be a bloodbath.
So, all right. So
The red
this
wedding?
is my favorite.
Yeah.
This is my favorite spoiled moment.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm not a big Star Wars person. I'm not, I enjoy the movies, but I'm not a huge Star Wars fan guy. You know what I mean?
Are you the one who has the T-shirt that cracked me up? You have that T-shirt, don't you?
Which one?
The one that says Star Wars.
Yeah, Benji made that for me. It's Star Wars.
So funny, so funny.
So it was. I can't remember the name of which one. It may have been The Last Jedi. The one with Harrison Ford and Leia and
The Force Awakens, or
could be. So I'm sitting there, and I had avoided the spoilers. It had been a couple of weeks, and so I'd done really well. And I went back home. I think it was Thanksgiving. Went back home, and I saw one of my best friends growing up, Gabe Hamlet, and he's got his kids in the van, and he's a huge Star Wars person.
Yeah.
And I go, I've not seen it yet. I said, so don't give me any spoilers, but your opinion. He goes, I loved it. I think it's great. There's some good things and blah, blah, blah. And so we're there. And I said, yeah. He goes, how have you avoided spoilers? I said, I've just gotten lucky. If I see someone on my feed that starts even talk, I scroll past it. I'm like, so I've been really good about it. And he goes, yeah, I took the boys and we're having a good time. And Gavin comes out. He goes, do you like the last one? He goes, yeah, it was really good until Han Solo dies. And I went, you son of, and I just looked at Gabe, and Gabe goes, or not, he's just kidding. He's kidding. He doesn't die. And I go,
It's good when you can set someone up for that, and you're honestly setting them up for it.
Oh my God. I was like, you son of.
Ed, have you
Gavin.
been spoiled?
I have been a spoiler, and I did not intend to. It had nothing to do with the movie. My friend Rich was having his first kid. His wife Sarah had to go to her obstetrician appointment.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Rich was at work, and they wanted to keep the gender a secret.
Right.
So Sarah came up to me and said, "Can you take me to the OB?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I took her over there. I'm sitting in the waiting room, and the doctor comes out. Not the actual doctor, because they would know I wasn't the husband. Somebody who works there came out. Someone high up enough to tell me the gender.
Right.
Because they came out and they were like, Mr. Hack, we have news on your son. And I was like, I'm not Mr. Hack. I'm Sarah's friend who took her here to drive
Did you
her here.
air quotes when you said friend?
Yeah.
Give the doctor a wink.
Nice.
And then I was like, I just took her here, and I don't think she wants to know the gender. She goes, oh my gosh, they didn't fill that out on the form. Apparently there's a form you had to fill out. They didn't fill out on the form. We didn't know. And I was like, yeah, you probably wanted to let her know that. So I saw Sarah was like, listen, here's the deal. They goofed up. They told me the gender of the baby. And I said, but I'm not going to tell you the gender of the baby. I know you don't want to know, and I won't tell Rich. And they're like, okay, cool. So they go, do you want to see the sonogram? Because with the sonogram, the way the baby was, you couldn't tell the gender. So I was like, great. Because sometimes you could just see, boom. So I don't know how they told the gender now that I think about it.
Right.
But I don't know that business. So anyway, long story short is that they said, yeah, it's all healthy and whatever. So I'm hanging out with Rich later on that night, my buddy, and it's like, hey, I heard you took Sarah to the sonogram. I couldn't make it home in time. Thank you for doing that. I said, yeah, and it was no problem, because any problem with the doctor, because this guy could be kind of a dick, blah, blah, blah. I was like, nope, no problem. And
Speaking of dicks,
I said the baby's healthy. I mean, he looks great. And I dropped in that pronoun. I said, he looks great. And he was like, he? And I was like, oh.
Yeah, but that's the good part of being an actor, is that you can talk your way out of that.
But he's
or she, I don't know.
He's an actor too.
Yeah.
So he would pick up.
He can tell when you're lying.
Yes, he has the actor sensibility.
Yeah, you just sit there and go, I didn't want to say it.
Yeah.
Because it sounded
felt
insensitive.
Weird. I'm just trying to be positive. I don't want to be negative and say she.
I'm going to say she and he. Oh my God.
I was 24 and stupid. That also could help. Yeah, but anyway, long story short is that I blew the gender, and Sarah was mad at me for a while.
So you blew the baby's. What?
Yep. Let's go down there. Let's go down that road.
You want to go down?
Yep. Let's take that road too. Matter of fact, while we're in the neighborhood, let's make me into a horrible monster. Let's do that.
Is this because of the poopy stuff?
Oh my God.
You shit on the baby, Ed?
Oh my God. I'm not doing this. I'm not even feeding that.
All right. We need to wrap this up.
So you don't feed babies now? Is that what you
just let them starve?
Wow, man.
Ed, what what did you learn tonight?
I learned that this podcast can go in many different directions.
It sure can.
And I thought to myself, I said, what the heck is going to be the name of this podcast? Because we talked about, things from Florida Education to Marvel to Star Wars to babies and whatever. We're all over the place. I think you call the episode Dak Shepard.
Okay.
And just steal all the names from Speechless. Just start naming the shows the same names that on Speechless.
We should just change the name of the podcast to Smartless. And,
Smartless. Why did I say
no,
Speechless?
we'll be Speechless. We'll be
Speechless. Yeah, there you go.
We'll be less smart.
Not so smart as Smartless.
Ali, what did you learn tonight?
I learned that y'all are both way nerdier than I thought. Holy shit.
Well, to be fair, actually, I think I'm not as nerdy as I could be because I just find out about these things tangentially.
It depends on what you like. You
I
are
like the word
nerdy about
tangentially
something
because I've used that about six.
like there is
Everybody's
something.
nerdy about something.
Yeah.
What do you think I geek out on? I was wondering about
on
that.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Because did I?
Yeah.
You, pooping on people.
I know as much as anybody else did, though.
That doesn't mean that you're
No,
not
but I mean, he knows
geeking out.
everything about the freaking Flash, dude. I don't know everything about Game of Thrones. You
You
could
geek out about The Simpsons. You know a lot about The Simpsons.
I do
That's
know a
true.
lot about The Simpsons.
I got to put
Yeah.
them in the poster.
The poster.
Yeah, I sent you guys a preview while I was still working on it,
What?
Okay.
and you said you couldn't do the show.
Oh, right.
Oh, that one.
The geek show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we spoiled that for everyone, Ed. Good job.
Well,
Jesus
you
Christ.
also have the ability to edit this podcast.
I not in the time that we have to turn it around. We're fine. We'll announce that soon enough. I do think that'll be a good show.
I wish I could do that.
All right, and I learned something tonight too.
What's that?
I learned that Ed, you're not a horrible person because you like pooping and peeing on people. Like I'm not even, but I think
No
the fact
judgment.
that
No cap.
the sexual talk about infants I find disturbing.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't do it anymore.
I don't think you should worry about your teaching job next year anyway.
Thanks a lot.
And don't wear that Ezra Miller T-shirt again, dude.
All right, we're Mama's
I wasn't
Comedy
sure
Show.
if I was going to wear it, but then I choked.
We're here every Friday night at 8 p.m. Call 407-363-1985 to make a reservation. Ed, where can people find... no, I'm sorry. Ali, where can people find you?
At Comedic Actor on my socials. So at Comedic Actor on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And on the Xbox. I play Xbox games. You can find me on there.
You just geek out about that. Ed, where can people find you?
We can't.
I won't be here anymore.
No.
Nope, I'm getting on a spaceship. I'm going to live on Mars, and this is the last podcast I will ever do. I will become the Martian, and I'm going to science the shit out of that planet.
You gonna eat some poo-poo potatoes?
I am, and I'm going to love it, because that's what I'm into. Everybody knows I'm into poop. I moved up on the mic for that.
I know, now I have to
I
turn it
broke
down.
my rule.
Everyone just crashed their car.
Yep.
You can find me on Instagram at Totters. Find my books on Amazon. They're actually, this is a pretty good month. All right, we'll see
I
you
have a
guys.
book I'm getting through.
Which one?
The Impossible Poop.
Impossible Pope? I'll come out one of your classes. Support you.
Oh, good. Thanks.
We'll see you guys
Poop
next
on
week.
people.
Bye.
Bye.